Ray Bradshaw, you have the most votes. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
It's Breaking the News with Des Clark.
And this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. With me this week are some of the best comics on the scene. On my right, we have Ray Bradshaw and Karen Barkey, and facing them are Diona Doherty and David Kay. In the news this week, Rishi Sunak is heading off on a family holiday for the first time in 4 years. Downing Street has not revealed where the Prime Minister is taking his family, but we do know it's not Alton Towers, as he's not tall enough to go on any of the rides. A farmer in the US has planted 1.2 million sunflowers for his wife to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary. She said she was touched by the elaborate gesture and definitely wouldn't have preferred Taylor Swift tickets. And a zoo in eastern China has sparked online rumours that its sun bears are actually people in disguise. After one of the animals appeared to be standing up just like a human, the unusual behaviour came as a shock to everyone, even causing one nearby lion to drop his mobile phone. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one. Broken News Round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Ray and Karen, can you tell me what this is all about?
Donald Trump's campaign team has likened the latest criminal charges against him
to Aberdeenshire.
The former US president has been charged with trying to overturn
millions of pounds of funding for a carbon capture scheme in the North East. The First Minister, Humza Yousaf,
says the charges are fair.
Karen, any ideas what the first one might be?
It's maybe the news that Donald Trump's been indicted again for, I believe, the 476th time this week.
Is the right answer. Well done, yeah. It is the news that former US President Donald Trump has been charged with plotting to overturn his 2020 election defeat. Donald Trump's lawyers are seeking to get the trial moved out of Washington, D.C. to somewhere they believe their client will get a jury who are more sympathetic to his views, like Moscow. So, Karen, you got the right answer. You can go first answering this. Are you surprised at this latest development?
I mean, I'm astonished. He seemed like such a nice man. Did not see that coming.
Oh, Ray Bradshaw, it's all happening with Trump. Are you surprised at the latest development?
Nah, we saw him do it. Like, why would we be surprised? We saw him do it all. I find it funny, just the fact that this scandal is so American when it involves like people rebelling and a porn star is involved, whereas the Scottish scandal was a camper van in Fife. Like, it just shows how unambitious we are, man.
We do have to say, Donald Trump says he will still run for president from his prison cell, even if he's found guilty. It's now been called the most high-profile prison campaign since we tried to free Deirdre Barlow. David Kay, it falls to you to try and decipher all of this. Are you surprised at the latest Donald Trump development?
I was really surprised. I couldn't believe it. I thought, no way. I mean, I really couldn't believe it. Really surprised. Why are they picking on this poor guy? And then I thought about it for a wee minute, and then I wasn't surprised at all. Because when you see what he's done, no wonder, you know. So I wasn't surprised, but then I kind of forgot, and then I was surprised again. I mean, it came out the blue. I'd forgotten all about Trump, and then this surprise comes along. And then a wee while later, I'd forgotten again.
What do you think, Diona? How do you see this one playing out?
I mean, the guy just won't go to jail. Right, so conspiracy to defraud, punishable by 10 years. Conspiracy against rights, 10 years. Corrupt obstruction, 20 years. Conspiracy to obstruct, 20 years. That's like 60 years in jail. This guy is going to do 45 minutes in soft play. Exactly the same.
David Kay, how do you see this playing out?
Well, I think it's a shame for the American electorate. You know, they've been let down because he was going to make America great again. And, well, I don't know if you've been. It's all right, you know. So he needs re-elected because he's not even started.
And there we go. Well done for getting the right answer, identifying Donald Trump, the former US president, who has been given 4 more criminal charges in the past week. The indictments are coming so thick and fast, so much so that Jack Smith's office have given Trump the code name iPhone, as they need to charge him every few hours. Yes, well done, Ray and Karen. You get 2 points for that. It was the news of charges against former US President Donald Trump. Right, it's over to you, David and Diona. What was the other story we were after?
Yeah, is it the new oil and gas licences in the North Sea?
That's the right answer. Well done. This week, the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, was in Aberdeenshire where he defended a decision to grant 100 new North Sea oil and gas licences. However, campaigners said that extracting more fossil fuels from the North Sea would send a wrecking ball through the UK's climate commitments. Yes, the Conservatives are as committed to fighting climate change as my uncle was to his 5th wife. Diona, what about you? Do you welcome this new investment in the North Sea?
Like, yes, of course, anything contributing toward climate change is bad. But, like, remember when it was colder?
What about you, Ray? Do you welcome this new investment in the North Sea?
I find it quite funny that they've done all this a couple of weeks after Orkney and Shetland said they might go independent, and they're like, "Oh no, we've got this oil and gas next to your house." It's like when you're splitting up with someone and they want to leave, and you come home with a puppy, and you're like, "No, look, you can't leave now. Look, this will make the world worse."
Diona, what do you think this says about the UK's climate commitments?
I feel like the UK has commitment issues. Like, for instance, when it took Ireland, it sort of like gave us a whole pile of it back after like 800 years, because it just felt like the relationship was just getting a wee bit too serious. And they just let a whole pile of us go.
Is that what that was about?
Yeah.
You know, the UK government's doing bad when someone from Northern Ireland, whose government haven't sat in Parliament for about 22 years, is slagging it off. How long was Stormont shut for?
They're out enjoying the sun. Why is it? They're enjoying climate change, Ray.
Making sense now. I like that. David Kay, what do you think this move says about the UK's climate commitments?
It's not good, Des. I mean, it just says that they're doing the same thing over and over again. You know, there's that kind of quote that if you do the same thing over and over again, you get the same results. So, I mean, do they know? I don't know. Have they not seen that quote? I mean, surely they know that if you're heating up the planet and bringing out oil and gas as part of that, heating it up, bringing more oil and gas out isn't a good fix. Like, I wouldn't be doing that. I would be pushing it back down.
What do you think this says about the UK's climate commitments?
I mean, I think it's fairly consistent with the UK's commitments to pretty much everything. You know, it's not dissimilar to my commitment to losing weight, which usually leads to about 4 hours later me sitting surrounded by French fancy wrappers with like fondant all over my face. I'm not convinced that they're completely genuine. I know that's a shocking turn of events, but I'm going to put it out there. I don't think the UK government is always telling the truth.
You take that back, Karen.
Cancel me if you want. Cancel me. I can take it.
It's getting to the point where I trust Just Stop Oil more than I trust the Tory party, because can you imagine the Tories getting tickets for Wimbledon and the F1? Not a chance, man. They're not that organised.
Yes,
Also, yeah. Just Stop Oil are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I've joined so I can get Taylor Swift tickets.
Well done for getting the right answer. We were talking about the investment in the oil and gas of the North Sea and Rishi Sunak's visit to Aberdeenshire this week. Rishi Sunak's planned expansion of oil and gas drilling in the North Sea has come in for criticism from opposition parties. Sunak defended his proposals, saying he's an expert on all things offshore, as that's where he keeps all his money. Well done, David and Diona. You get 2 points for that. It was the mashup of new legal trouble for Donald Trump and Rishi Sunak's announcement about North Sea oil and gas. And at the end of that round, well done, the teams are all square. Now, much of our news is about public opinion, so to find out what stories people are talking about, we spoke to two friends of the show, broadcaster and musician Roddy Hart and international footballer Gemma Fay. So David and Diona, what do you think Roddy is on about here?
This event will see 11 days of action happening across the country, from Edinburgh to Glasgow, in the Tweed Valley, Dumfries, Perth and Dundee. There's even a ton of things happening in the home of Big Thunder Thighs himself. It's going to be wheelie amazing.
Well, it was the first UCI Cycling World Championships that are taking place in Scotland.
Well done, David. That's the right answer. For the first time ever, the world's best cyclists across a range of disciplines are being brought together for one mega event right here in Scotland. Starting this week, the UCI Cycling World Championships will see 11 days of action from mountain biking in the Tweed Valley, an Edinburgh to Glasgow road race, paracycling road races in Dumfries, and a special Gran Fondo in Perth and Dundee. I do have to clarify, Gran Fondo is Italian for big race. You know what you call getting your bum felt at the bingo? I think that's a full house. Leave it.
Do you know what? There's lots of categories. There's mountain biking, BMX, and road racing, but they've forgotten the one where four of them cycle side by side on a Sunday morning and nobody can get past.
Ray, are you looking forward to the Cycling World Championships?
Kind of am, yeah. I'm a big sports fan. I like it. And also, when things come here, I think that's really cool. Because you remember when you would watch Taggart and you would recognise places, you'd be like, oh, like that. And then, so like, if you're watching the road race in Dundee, it's going by a field, you can be like, oh, that's where I lost my virginity. Like, you can do it. It's going to be fun for everyone.
Also all over in 3 seconds. Karen, what about you? Are you looking forward to the Cycling World Championships?
All I can picture is, you know how regular cyclists have those wee cameras on the top of their helmets? And I'm like, imagine they're going through Glasgow. What sights are they going to see when they watch that footage back? Just some guy sitting sunbathing with like a reflector made entirely out of Tunnocks tea cake wrappers. Or like, Big Charlene 3 days into Ashley's Hen weekend, just sauntering back first thing in the morning. They're all zipping past at 90.
Obviously, some people are really excited about it. There has been criticism of the event. It feels right that turned now to you, David. What have you made then of some of the criticism of the event that's happening?
Well, they've been on about some bins haven't been emptied, in this. I mean, they seem to go over Glasgow and find a bin that's kind of overflowing with like empty Coca-Cola bottles. And I'm thinking, well, it's only an issue if they're cycling in the pavement.
What do you think, Diona? There's been some criticism of the event. What have you made about that?
Yeah, I think there's lots of talk about there being so much litter everywhere. And Labour's Paul Sweeney said, why don't we use this as an opportunity in Glasgow to clean the place up, and that would be a great idea. But it's sort of like, whenever you've got visitors coming over to your house and you spend all morning scrubbing the place within an inch of its life, and then they arrive and they're like, oh, your house is lovely. You're like, oh my God, it's such a mess. I haven't even got a chance. I haven't got time. I haven't got a chance. It's always like this. But
no, you can leave your shoes on. We don't care about that.
Yeah. We're so laid back.
So, Ray, you're a sports fan, got the Cycling World Championships in Scotland. What other World Championships should Scotland host?
Buckfast Olympics. So everyone has to drink a full bottle before you do any of the sports. Judges as well. Let's see the javelin. That's
I love that. That's brilliant. There we go. That is the story of the Cycling World Championships. As we mentioned, the Cycling World Championships include a long-distance mass participation road race called the Gran Fondo. The event is open to top professionals as well as amateur cyclists who just want to get their bike out of the shed. Although, I have to say, my uncle was banned from the qualifying event after getting the wrong end of the stick and standing in George Square with his chopper out. The first UCI Cycling World Championships happening in Scotland is the right answer. Well done, David and Diona. Now to you, Ray and Karen, it's your turn. What do you think Gemma is talking about here?
Well, initially, this one kind of just flew over my head. My only concern is I've taken a ferry crossing here, and that wasn't exactly smooth sailing. In terms of this little wee thing made out of plastic and aluminium, I'm a bit sceptical about whether or not it will get there or it'll get blown off course and end up in Denmark.
This is the news. They've tried to do a drone mail service up in Orkney, I think it is.
Bang on, mate. That is the right answer. Yes, Orkney has become the first location in the UK to have mail delivered by drone. The operation has been launched by Royal Mail and drone firm Skyports to distribute letters and parcels between the islands. David, do you think it's a good idea?
It's kind of a good idea, but I mean, the drones need to have names. You know? I don't think they've thought of that because, you know, when I get a delivery, it's John usually, and, you know, I open the door and John says hello to me, and I'd be looking for the same kind of service for a drone, and then I'd need to say to the drone, have you got many parcels left to deliver?
Just needs a name. Well, it seems like it's here. Would you like to see it used in more urban areas? Ray, what do you think?
They'd get shot down by a BB gun in 20 seconds, man. I love that. You know when you get a wee parcel when Royal Mail says, oh, sorry, we missed you for delivery, getting one of them from a drone saying, sorry, we're back tomorrow, a seagull tried to hump me.
Cara, would you like to see it used in more urban areas?
Well, I'm from the East End of Glasgow. I'm not that far from a little place known as Barlinnie HMP. So I believe they're actually quite popular in that area already.
I just think it would be good to see how the drone copes with a close. You know, how does it press the services button? And can it open the door? I mean, geez, the hand comes out. And then if you're coming out the close, there's a drone there. You're like, oh, help my Bob, I better... Can I go out the new? I better come back in. I mean, you know, or if you open the door for it, it might say, thanks, mate, I wasn't getting in. And it flies up. That would be fun.
Well, there you go. Something we didn't think about. Diona Doherty, what do you think about this mail drone? Would you like to see it in more urban areas?
No, because technology's taken over the world and it's not fair and it's taken all of our jobs. And I refuse to use the self-checkout in Tesco's for that very reason. That and I don't work there.
Obviously, we're looking at ways to try and improve home delivery. Have we any other suggestions as a panel? Ray, how would you improve home deliveries in the UK?
So I've not long moved house. I used to live in flats. I've moved in a house. And I didn't realise this was a thing where if you're not in, sometimes they just hide at places in your garden. So I think if they open the gate, they should get like 30 seconds like the Crystal Maze. And if they're not back out, they're locked in.
Orkney leading the way in drone parcel deliveries. That's the right answer. And 2 points goes to Ray and Karen. You're listening to Breaking the News from BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who is in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Ray and Karen, you're first this time. Who is this?
I'm going to focus my comments on the economic health of my constituents this evening. The Chancellor's announcement last week simply doesn't do enough to support those people.
Margaret Farrier, who just got bumped from her seat.
I'll give you the answer. That was Margaret Ferrier, the MP who was suspended for breaking COVID lockdown rules, who lost her seat after a vote by constituents. A by-election will now take place after 11,896 people in Rutherglen and Hamilton West signed a petition to remove Margaret Ferrier from office. Diona, are you surprised at what happened with Margaret Ferrier this week?
I do feel sorry for her. It's been like a whirlwind, hasn't it? Like one day she does something wrong and then bam, 3 years later she's paying the price.
Did you know you could just do a vote and get rid of someone?
No.
I didn't know we could do a petition. Like we could have done
we
that.
can just do it ourselves.
Yeah. Right, there's 4 of us. We can get Des out of here.
David Kay, are you surprised at what happened with Margaret Ferrier this week?
Folk don't really understand the situation she was in. I mean, here she was in London, she tested positive, and she had a decision to make. And, you know, if you've been to Motherwell, which I think is where she was going, you would do everything you could in your power to get back up the road. And folk aren't talking about Motherwell. I mean, if you say, Des, she had to get up to Motherwell, you'd go, oh, I see why she did it then.
All makes sense now, the sense of urgency. Well, now obviously this was brought about, as we've mentioned, by a petition by members of the public, over 11,000 signatures. But what would you petition for? What's so important to you? Karen, what would you petition for?
I would like to start a petition for the inalienable right for actresses with brown hair and glasses in the 40 to 55 kind of a bracket with improvisation experience and a degree in archaeology to be employed on a semi-regular basis.
Some might say that's a bit niche, but
I think it could fly.
I'd sign it, yeah.
Thank you.
The
That's
audience
two.
are into it. Yeah, let's go for it. Margaret Ferrier was suspended after taking a train from London to Glasgow whilst positive for COVID. Suspicions first arose on the train when she said the onboard coffee was the best tasting cup she'd ever had. Yeah, well done. 2 points to Ray and Karen. That was SNP politician Margaret Ferrier. Right, David and Diona, it's your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm a living example. There is life after 70, 80 or even 90.
I think it's Joy Fleetham. She took up fencing in her 90s.
Well done, David Kay. It's the heartwarming story about 90-year-old Joy Fleetham from Yorkshire, who is believed to be Britain's oldest fencer. She took up the sport at the age of 63 and now is the president of her local fencing club and says she's still winning matches against teenage opponents. Anybody surprised that a 90-year-old should have such flexibility, competitive spirit and killer instinct has clearly never been in a Greenock post office in pension day. Well, there we go, David. She sounds fantastic. How impressed are you by Joy Fleetham?
Fencing's quite hard to get into, so I wonder, how did she get into it? If we were wanting to do fencing in Greenock, I mean, there's hardly any top fencers for Greenock that I can think of. And then you have to leave the town. And how many young folk have left Greenock? We have to put an end to this. All these young folk, they're just desperate to be fencers and they have to leave the town to fulfil their fencing. I'm here to say enough is enough.
Diona, how impressed are you by Joy?
Oh, she's class. And do you know how she got into it? She responded to an ad in the newspaper, and I'd love to see how that read. Do you know, like, good with knives, love wearing a mask? Very paramilitary. But she found her place. I'm really disappointed, though, because I feel like how great she is has highlighted how unfit and how lazy I am. Like, she's there. She's beating, like, 17-year-old Japanese boys in fencing, and I text my husband to tell him to come down for dinner because I can't be bothered shouting up the stairs.
It's a good example, but there she is, an absolute hero this week. Karen, what do you make of Joy Fleetham? Are you impressed by her?
I mean, I am, assuming that the people that she's fencing against are also fencers. If she's just in, like, the local chase club, just attacking teenagers, I think that's inappropriate, to be honest. But yeah, provided that they are actually fencing as well, good on her.
Ray, how impressed are you by Joy?
Yeah, all right. I mean, I laughed at the article. She was saying people come up to her and say, "Hello, fencing lady." And I used to play football in Maryhill, and there was a fencing lady, but she just got you stuff off the back of lorries. Like, it was different.
So obviously we've got Joy saying that she's defeated 17-year-old fencers. Tell us about a time that you've outsmarted someone younger than yourself.
I outsmarted somebody last night because I was on the train, a late train for Edinburgh, and that announcement came on, make sure you take all your possessions. And this wee 3-year-old said, "Oh, I've no got any possessions." And I said, "Don't worry about it, just get off the train when you need to." And her mum couldn't believe it that I'd outsmarted her like that.
Clever. That's what we like. Well done. Joy Fleetham is the right answer, and 2 points go to David and Diona. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I will read you out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
I have never seen a man look so wet.
That's Martin Geisler there with a late review of Baywatch. Right, fingers on buzzers. Here we go. 40% of people in the UK have what? Diona.
Come from Northern Ireland and are confused.
40% of people in the UK have what? Karen.
A dread terror that somehow, somewhere, a duck is following them.
40% of people in the UK have what? Ray.
Been mugged by an old woman with a big fencing thing.
40% of people in the UK have what? David.
Something that the other 60% thought they had.
Bonus points all over the place this week. Well done, David. Technically correct, but not specific enough. 40% of people in the UK, according to a new study, have social jet lag. It's the shift in the internal body clock when sleeping patterns change between workdays, weekends, and holidays.
I have never seen a man look so wet.
Oh, there we go. That is the klaxon. Martin is Geisler. It means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our clear winners this week are David Kay and Diona Doherty. Plucky effort. Commiserations to Ray Bradshaw and Karen Barkey. And we'll leave you with the breaking the news. Breaking news just in. A 13-year-old boy has found a giant megalodon tooth whilst fossil hunting on the Essex coast. Experts believe the prehistoric shark tooth may be worth thousands of pounds as long as he can find a pillow big enough to fit it under. A pub is selling what it claims to be the cheapest pint of Guinness in the UK for just £2, half the average price. The landlord of the Feathers pub in Worcester said it's not a scam, and the genuine offer is open to anyone buying one of their £6 bags of scampi fries. And scientists have revived a roundworm that spent the last 46,000 years frozen in the Siberian ice. It's the most notable attempt at bringing back the worm since my uncle broke both his wrists on the dance floor at my cousin's wedding. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye!